To begin with, obviously, there is a need for healing in India, but how do we come about this healing? De radicalization, I feel, is the first step towards healing in India right now. And mostly when we talk about de-radicalization, I think all the world over, it's like, oh, Muslims, they are so radical. They need to be, they need to be de-radicalized. But nobody's talking about the radicalization that India is seeing against the Muslims. The hatred that is being spewed against Muslims, and how the institutions have completely failed the people of India. There's this thing about history, that people are being they are being made to feel insecure in their own country. A certain section, majority of people are being, are being made to feel unsafe in their own country. They are made to feel under threat from a minority community, and it has happened over over a period of time, over a number of years. So obviously, it's not going to happen overnight that de-radicalization is going to happen. We need to learn our history as Indians. It's been years since Muslims have been slowly isolated. We have been, moved to the fringes. And since my research is on urban social spatial segregation, and I've studied this phenomena, like how Delhi was a state of, a city of composite culture, and how, segregation slowly happened in the cities, and the Muslims kind of really moved out from the city center and started surviving only on the fringes. And mind you, this has not happened in the last 10 years only. It is a process of the 60-70 years that has brought us to this point. Coming back to healing, can healing happen without reconciliation? And can reconciliation happen without justice? With so much of injustice facing and so much of denial of justice from all institutions and layers of the society, a community is bound to feel left out. It is bound to feel betrayed, and with betrayal and lack of trust, the trust deficit that is there in India today, how can there be a reconciliation, and in turn, how can there be a healing, is one question that we really need to introspect. Very recently, the example of the Babri Masjid, if we see, injustice happened because there was a mosque and it was broken down, it was desecrated, and it was violated, and it all happened in front of the country, and the majority of the country was rejoicing. And then what happened after that? So many Muslims were put into jails for inciting, hate and all of that. So first a wrong happens to you, and then after that you're denied justice, fine. But then after that, more injustice is happening with you. In such a scenario, like, how do you reconcile for the lives lost, for the lives shattered, for loved ones lost? Can people be blamed for having bitterness? Is something that we as humans all need to understand. When we talk about Muslims as a community, not just in India, all over the world, Muslims are put at a very high pedestal, and we have to subscribe to very, very high morals and ideals which don't apply to other people. Acknowledgement, reckoning, it's all of this is very important for the reconciliation process, and that is not happening in India right now. For somebody, people are put in jails, they are acquitted, they are slapped with UAPA, NSA, sedition, whatnot, all kinds of laws that the state is wielding to clamp down on dissent, and especially on Muslims. And it is so easy for the people to believe, oh, it's a Muslim, to oh, definitely this person must have done this. Oh, they are the born seditious. They should just go to Pakistan. Basically, I mean, all my timelines like Facebook, Twitter. I mean, why don't I go to Pakistan? When the denial of justice is there, it leaves open wounds, and you're very, very far from the healing process. Then, in my case, I would say that even now, uh, there is no acknowledgement of whether I was wronged. Uh, all of this, like I'm an accused, but I am being treated as a convict. That I was just accused of all of this, but everybody keeps accusing me of all of this all the time and keeps treating me like a convict. Like, your life changes, nothing is normal. Even yesterday we see the attack on journalists that is happening, and Mandeep, he's been behind bars, and the way that arbitrary way that the police, which is the state, is arresting people, and the cases of illegal detention that are happening, and you don't know the whereabouts of the people. Then there is no process of law that is even being followed. So this thing leaves too much scars on your soul, on your mind, and you cannot heal from it without an acknowledgement, without a reparation, at least, leave alone justice. And trust me, justice, it's very, very, very different from revenge. And a mere acknowledgement, a mere reparation, guilt on part of the perpetrators is also something that seems very far-fetched to expect right now. At the core of the healing process and the attainment of justice is also the question of dignity. When you make them feel inferior, when you make them feel powerless in their own country, there is no coming back from it. It becomes very difficult for a person to heal from it, and it basically makes a person lose faith in the institutions of the country. And you're not even being allowed to defend yourself. That is something that, again, there is no coming back. It's impossible to forgive, and without forgiveness you cannot break this cycle of violence, this cycle of hatred that um, that is there. Again, the Sikh community is being demonized, they are being dehumanized, and when students dissent, you label them as urban Naxals, Maoists, and when it's Muslims, they are terrorists, and they are Pakistanis, and they're ISIS agents and whatnot. And when Sikhs, it's like they are Khalistanis, and there is no end to this violation and the cycle of violence. I mean, all the communities in India are saturated with this violence, and we definitely have come to a saturation level where it is important to act right now. Otherwise, it is already a catastrophic situation, but matters can definitely escalate even further, and India is definitely moving on the Nazi way, as we have time and again pointed out, and as we have been saying, we should forgive, but we should not forget, because it is only when you remember that you can introspect, that you can avoid it. If you forget, then it tends to get repeated again and again and again, and there is no way out of this cycle. So we must remember, and at the right time we must also forgive, because it may not be the end of the problem, but forgiveness actually unburdens one's soul also, and I strongly believe that. When we talk about conflict resolution, we talk about breaking the cycle of violence and transcending it. But do I really feel there is a cycle of violence in India? There is a cycle, but I definitely feel that it is a one-sided cycle. We have internalized all of this hatred and this dehumanization so much, this violence so much, that a lot of us many times, unconsciously we become apologetic of our identity. We try to escape from asserting it. So I feel that in the healing process, also what is important is that we accept our identities unapologetically. And with our identities, we need to be accepted, and we accept others also. Apologetically, we have tried to prove our nationalism, our define our place in the country. But I feel that even after 70 years, the situation has not improved. In fact, it has worsened. So definitely that is not the right way to do it. Then what is the right way to do it? The right way to do it is that keep asserting your identity, keep asserting your identity till your identity becomes normal, till it is okay to be a Muslim in this country, till it is okay to be a woman in this country, till it is okay to speak up in this country, and till it is okay to dissent in this country, to talk about others' pain and as if it is your own, and to stand up for people, to study, but to also struggle alongside. Finally, I believe that in a post-truth world, I say this very sadly. There seems to be no space for facts, and this is what lays the foundations of majoritarianism and populism that we are currently experiencing in our country. We might not have a solution for it right now, but we cannot stop to endeavor to find that solution, which in the near future might open up. On this Republic Day, we we actually saw what the power of the republic is. We had a Republic Day parade where people took control of the country, and they came on the roads, and it was very peaceful. It was very beautiful when the common man reclaims the republic, and that is the true spirit of the republic. And you know what, it gives me so much hope for the country, and we must never ever stop fighting for justice, however much far it might seem on the horizon. It might seem too far away. It might seem like the stars that you will never be able to catch. But you really, really, really need to keep fighting for justice, because if Allah wills, it shall be. Kun fayakun.